I'm making roasted sweet pepper spread. This is such a great recipe. You can eat it on chicken, on fries, on pasta. I don't know why I like it so much. It looks like tomato sauce, but it doesn't taste like it. You get that roasted, smoky flavor in there that I like so much. Anytime roasted is in a name, you know there's gonna be a few extra steps. So that's where we're gonna start. I need to start by cutting the red peppers in half and seeding them. I'll then place them with the skin side up on a tray. I learned from experience that I need to have a taller lip to this tray. This recipe calls for 9 large red peppers. You could probably do this with the orange or the yellow as well, but I've always done the red for some reason. I like to leave enough space in between the peppers that the heat can get to the whole thing and put my peppers in. Just take a look at how great those peppers look. They're nice and dark along the top, which is perfectly what you want. So I'll go ahead and I'll set these off to the side, and I'll put the bottom tray up to the top so that it has a chance to blacken as well. I'll take the peppers and I'll place them inside a brown paper sack and put them on a tray. I've found it's really important to make sure that you have that big lip there because there can be a fair amount of juice that comes out. The sack will absorb a lot of it, but it's just a good idea. I'll start with 1.5 pounds of tomatoes. Now these need to be cut in half and then laid on a tray with the skin side up because these are gonna be roasted too. In addition to that, I will cut the top and the bottom off of 1 onion and place that on the tray as well. Then I'll take 1 bulb of garlic and cut the top off, and if the bottom is a little wonky like mine has a lot of roots on it, then I will cut the roots off as well so that it can be pretty flat on the tray. The big thing with the garlic is that you have to be careful to make sure that every single clove has the top cut off, and sometimes they're kind of funky down on the side, and so you just kind of have to cut those just to make sure. Then I'll take olive oil and I'll drizzle it all over the top of the onion and the top of the garlic. Then I'll put these in the oven as well on a broil. And I'll broil them until the tops of the garlic and onions are brown and the tops of the tomatoes are blackened. The tomatoes, just like the peppers, will be put into a brown bag. And I'll probably do about half of them in one bag and half in the other. And then I'll let them start to cool there. You can see how easy these are gonna be to peel. The peels are already coming off. I then peel the skin off of the pepper. And some of the bits can be a little bit tenacious. And if there's a couple of them that are difficult to get off, I don't even worry about them. And I'll just put it into the blender and the blender will take care of it. But I take off anything that I can and then don't worry too much about the rest. Sometimes it just didn't get as much heat as the other spots. It's usually pretty easy to do. It's generally just the pieces that are kind of on the underneath side that will be difficult. It really does smell good already at this point. I just love a roasted pepper though. They're so good. Then I'll peel and seed the tomatoes as well, and you see how easily they peel. And for the seeding, this is one of the reasons why I like the Roma tomatoes so much, because they just have these little seed chambers and it's really easy to get it out. And it doesn't matter what it looks like because it's just going in the blender with the red peppers. So even if you kind of mangle them as you're pulling those seeds out, it's fine. I remember when I first started canning, I grew up with canning with my mom, but for some reason I just didn't take to it as much. I would do portions of the canning, but it would be like peeling all of the tomatoes or do, blanch the peaches or cut the peaches or that kind of a thing, as opposed to the whole process. So I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was a little afraid to try, especially the pressure canner. And so I began with just freezing practically everything. And then slowly I began water bathing and eventually pressure canning as well. And I have to say, I absolutely love how great it is that my family can have good homegrown, home-cooked foods all year long. So I've got my peppers and my tomatoes all in my blender. Now I'm gonna blend them up. And then I'll pour the blended tomatoes and peppers right into my pan. Trying to get out every last bit. Next, I'll take my garlic and squeeze out the bulbs. I mean, really, this is like such a great recipe. Look how easy those pop out. I just love it. I have another recipe that is kind of similar to this, but it's roasted tomatoes and garlic, and it's super good too. I did that just a couple days ago, actually. I just love pulling out the garlic and just smelling it. It smells so good. And then I want to dice it up really tiny because this is going to be a sauce. So I wouldn't want to have big chunks in there, although they would probably taste amazing. So mincing them nice and fine will make it so that they're actually in more bites, and it increases the surface area to spread that garlic flavor throughout. Nothing wrong with roasted garlic. And then I'll add that to my sauce. And then it's on to my onion. I'll just cut it right in half. Set that one off to the side. I probably won't need that. And then I can remove that portion. For this, I only need 1/3 of a cup that's been minced really finely. So the rest of the onion, I'll just save for dinner. And then the 1/3 of a cup will go right into the sauce. Then I'll add 2 tablespoons of basil, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 cup of red wine vinegar. I'll mix it in well, and then I'll move this to the stove where I will bring it to a simmer. And I'll keep it at a simmer until the vegetables get nice and softened. I mean, they're already pretty soft, you know, the garlic and onions, but I want them all the way soft, and I want this to be my desired thickness, which is actually pretty close right here, so it's not going to take very long. The roasted sweet pepper spread is all done, so now it's time to jar it. And this goes into 1/2 pints, which is just perfect for a condiment. And I'll leave 1/4 of an inch of headspace at the top. Headspace is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. It's still just, it smells so good. It's like this Mediterranean kind of feel to it. I really like it. But I feel like it's always good to have new recipes. You know, you wouldn't want to get stale with your home canning. We should have as much or more variety in our home canning as they do at the store. I can't tell you how many different kinds of jam I have. And, you know, it's just such a good idea to scrape everything off because it's amazing just how much there is once you've scraped it down. Now I'll use a clean, damp cloth to wipe off the rim. Sometimes just a little bit of the sauce can get on the rim and that can interfere with the seal. So everything we can do to increase the chances of it sealing is a good thing. And then I'll apply my lids and I'll put my rings on fingertip tight. Now those will go into the boiling water bath and be processed for 15 minutes if you're at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'm gonna go for 20. Now that it's at a rolling boil, I'll set the timer for 20 minutes. The timer just went off, so I'll turn off the burner and take off the lid, and then I'll let it cool for 5 minutes. I try to place them about 1 to 2 inches apart, just so that they can cool quickly. You can tell that they're sealed because the little button that's in the middle of the lid should press down. If you go to press on it and it goes up and down, then you know it's not sealed, and you'll need to use that within the next week or so. So I'll leave these sitting on the counter for about 24 hours, and then tomorrow I'll come, take off the rings, wash them in hot soapy water, and then I'll store them in a cool, dry place for 1 to 3 years. I'm actually super excited for this taste test. It is dinner time, and I'm kind of starving. Actually, my family is at the dinner table, and we're having turkey today, so I decided to try it on turkey. All right, so I got a good chunk. Got a good amount. So good, so good. Totally that Mediterranean feel. All right, I'm gonna go eat dinner now.